today really is more about the conversation around what is yoga and how can we use the principles of philosophy of yoga and spirituality in our entrepreneurship path. So how did it all come to be? Well, about 18 months ago, I got very into yoga and I was going to India to be a yoga teacher. And at the same time, I was very into entrepreneurship because I run the Internet Incubator. And I was speaking to Aya, and I wish she was here, but she's not here. But she said, "What is your dream?" And I said, "I would like to connect yoga and entrepreneurship together." And then she said, "So you want to be a yogipreneur?" And I said, "Yes." And then about a month later, I met Anjan, and then and then we started having a conversation. And he said, "What is it that you're trying to do?" And I said, "I'm not quite sure." And he said, so anyway, we started to have a conversation about it. And I said, I'm really interested in how Eastern philosophy, the way that we live in the Eastern world, how can we use it in our Western practices, and how can that help in entrepreneurship so we create a sustainable entrepreneurship path. And then he said, so you want to use esoteric principles for holistic entrepreneurship growth? And I said, yes, and that's why yoga kind of happened. And it's taken us like 18 months to do this now, so from the background of yoga, from entrepreneurship, just sort of fuse and mesh, and we look at what can we do. And then, of course, and then about 2 months later, Sumas messaged me on LinkedIn, and he was the only person that saw yogapreneurs on LinkedIn. So I think the only person, and I think he said, I really love yogapreneurs, and then would you be interested in doing events at the Palm? And then I was like, yes, and it took about 15 months to get here. So it's been about 18 months of work to get here. So, but I think first of all, I just need to thank everyone for coming. My philosophy on workshops is that we're all learning together, and there is no leader in a way. It's like we're all learning and growing together and evolving. So the purpose today is that everyone gets a chance to say and discuss and ask questions. So that's really important. So that's something really important. So, I'd like to thank John, obviously, thank you. Sumesh, thank you for hosting us. Louise, coming from Geneva, thank you. Neil, Tali, everyone, Taru. And the whole idea is today we have a conversation together. And we learn about, we do a bit of yoga, breath work, look at mindfulness versus meditation. There's some questions to be raised, and just feel free to really just answer the questions that we want to answer. Okay? So I think from now I'll introduce John in the way that I have introduced him. I think that's enough, isn't it? But Anjan's one of my favorite meditation teachers. He does yoga trips. He used to be a talk show host. But actually, he is actually one of my favorite meditation teachers. So especially Kundalini meditation, I really like. So I think I'll leave it up to you to introduce yourself and the actual practice part of the session before we go to the conversation. Okay? Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you all for coming. Mia is a wonderful soul who's spearheaded and brainstormed and created this. So all credit for this is hers. We're just the supporting factions. Before I start, I want Mr. Sumesh to talk about the ideology behind the space you're in, so that we get connected to the space, the earth around it, the feeling, the ideology, and the power behind it, because that will help us to go to the next step of what we do. So Mr. Sumesh from the retreat at the Palm.
Thank you so much for coming to the retreat Palm Dubai and Gallery by Sofitel. It's actually the first holistic well-being resort in the entire Middle East. And I had a neuroscientist who took the GPS location of this hotel, put it on his software, and he said that this hotel sits on a vortex. So I've been into well-being only for the past 14 months actually, as a profession. Although I've been in Dubai since 1996 in the corporate world, mostly hospitality, healthcare and private banking. But I've seen hundreds of people, hundreds of masters, various people from communities, corporates and governments coming into this beautiful space, and immediately they connect with their own inner self. That's something very special about this place, the energy of this place. And these are neuroscientists who have done research on the correlation between various vortexes around the world and the correlation with the human nervous system. Like you go to Holy Mecca, something beautiful happens in your root chakras. You go to Stonehenge, something beautiful happens. You go to certain places in Egypt, in India, other places, there are vortexes. Although we are all moving vortexes of energy, this place takes us back home. You feel like, you're just connecting with yourself so effortlessly. So the retreat Palm Dubai is a center for self-transformation, because when we really connect with ourselves, we are forgetting about the outside world. So often we are connecting through our five senses, and we are connecting with constantly engaging with the outside world. It's all transactional relationships, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing. But here, it's exactly the opposite. How can we disengage from the property consciousness and the body consciousness and the mind consciousness and reach the pure state of pure consciousness of pure light, where we witness everything? We just become the witness observer. So the place helps us to connect with our own inner self, where we can be with ourselves, where we can just be instead of becoming, because everybody is chasing something, everybody wants to become, everybody wants to achieve, but this is a beautiful space where we can just be in this present moment. So they say our mind has got more than 70,000 thoughts coming into our mind on a daily basis, and it's like flying a kite. Every minute. So it's like flying a kite. So the kite is like the mind which is flying all around, and we are the body trying to hold on to the other end of the thread. And constantly we are either thinking about the past or we are thinking about the future. So every thought in the mind produces an electrical energy, and it results in an emotion or feeling in the body, which produces a magnetic energy. So all of us are like moving vortexes or moving crystals, and we constantly emit EMF around us, electromagnetic frequency, based on the thoughts that we have in our mind and the emotions or feelings, because the brain fires the corresponding neurotransmitters. So how can we achieve true happiness and true energy? So the place offers a setting for big masters to come in, C-level coaches to come in, executive coaches, Reiki healers, nutritionists, NLP practitioners, yoga teachers, meditation masters, to come and raise the level of consciousness in Dubai. So we are silently creating a wisdom revolution in this region. So UAE has a national well-being strategy. Under the Prime Minister's office, UAE has a happiness minister. There is a director of national well-being strategy, director of national workplace well-being strategy. We have ministers coming and staying in the hotel along with their senior leadership team, doing 24-hour retreats. So we have C-level coaches coming and doing the normal programs. We add in a little bit of these well-being elements. Like the setting is beautiful, our beauty treatments, our wellness treatments are great. We do a lot of retreats. Now in 2020, we are making all our retreats as per DHA protocols. So all our retreats are going to be run by DHA qualified doctors. So we are not looking at holistic, we are looking at integrated.
So Miss, just one second. If so, you can move more,
Sure.
and even you ladies can move a bit more. I think you can put one mat and one mat next to you.
And welcome to the retreat Palm Dubai. This is a beautiful space.
isn't just talking about the hotel. So it's the first holistic well-being resort in the entire Middle East. We align with the national well-being strategy and also align with the sustainability development goals. I don't want to talk much now. Thank you, Smish.
So Anna hosting, which is like you amazing space to hold this event. So thank you so much to Palm for the great few days here. Thank you. And Amjan, I think we're going to start off with actually, or no, we're going to do what made you say yes to being here today first before. So we'll go around and we'll just say what made you say yes to being here today, and then we'll go into meditation. Amjan, and then we'll go more into conversation. And I think let's keep it maybe like
So usually at these discussions, we have a protocol. First you say, hi, my name is. When you say your name, everybody else has to repeat your name. Okay? So she says, hi, my name is Christina. Everybody says, hi, Christina. And then you fill in the blanks on what Mia said. The reason I said yes to being here is, and you complete that sentence. Okay? So anybody can start, and the person on their left goes next. You just wait for them to start. You can take off your shoes and join us, please. We've already started.
My name is Samir.
Hi.
I'm a yoga teacher, healer, meditation teacher, looking for direction. And when I saw the two words, yogipreneurship, I thought, this sounds very, very interesting. How can I put my knapsack of things together and move forward rather than just all separate bits here and there, and also massage training. So I have like a package and I don't know how to deal with it. So I thought I'd be everybody. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Noor.
Hi. Hi.
The reason I said yes to being here today is that I've been really off balance for a couple of weeks and I've been working incredibly long hours and I didn't think I was going to be able to make it today. And then Mia messaged me halfway through the day when everything was falling apart and I said, you know what, I'm going to get out of work early because I absolutely need this. The universe is delivering.
Hi, I'm Nanta.
Hi.
I'm a yogi back in my country. I moved new to Dubai and trying to discover and find my right circle here. I met Anjan a couple of days ago in a meditation session by mistake, nothing is by mistake of course, and I'm here today, very happy.
To get into a flow and have that consistent flow throughout that, not have those ups and downs, like is it even possible? So I'm just checking this and that would be my discomfort. Thank you.
Namaste, I'm Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
And like after Mia has been my calling, but I'm a course life. I was able to walk and talk only because of yoga. And for the last 10 years I haven't practiced. So this was a good reason to be able to come back to it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Suresh.
Hi, Suresh.
I'm here because of two things, discovery and introspection. The introspection with the devil.
Hi, I'm Wasim.
Hi, Wasim.
I came here just to come out of the stress. I have been in stress for the last 2 months and it is really tiring. So I want to gain energy with a positive vibe here. So hope I gain this now. Looking for it.
Hi, I'm Nasheen.
Hi, Nasheen.
I'm here today because I'm actually an HR professional and I've been carrying everyone else's stress for a couple of years now, and I stumbled across Yogapreneur in LinkedIn and I thought I should come and see what it is.
Hello, my name is Raj. My friend Atif, we had a conversation today and he said you have to come and join me. There's something I started doing yesterday and I said okay, I get off work at so and so time. He said come. I would like to achieve and see if I can improve my energy balance today.
Hello, my name is Sumesh.
Hi, Samir.
I'm here to learn from all of us.
Hello, my name is Camila.
Hi,
I started out with aerial yoga, and I'm a student always, and it saved my life actually. And I find some good friends, and now I'm doing Rayya yoga and other yoga, and I've been invited by Vera. We met on Zumba. Yeah, and I think the yoga for me is going through a healing process, and also want to go deeper and know why I'm doing these postures, not just doing it because I want to have nice arms, rather to know why I'm doing it. So it's for me, it's like a process.
Hi, I'm Vera.
Hi.
Two things. I attend all of classes from Ida and Christina, so I'd love to go anywhere they go, just follow. And on the other side, I'm doing a lot of inner work at the moment, and I thought it's just perfect time, universe. And I thought, let's go, let's bring them in and see what we can do. And I'm really curious what I can learn from all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina. There's always a good opportunity to meditate with Anjan, so why not take it?
You're biased.
And me always to meet you again.
Namaste. People call me Anjan. I'm here because I'd like to break the myth that abundance and yoga are far away, and help with the understanding that the essence of yoga is prosperity. Business prosperity, relationship abundance, manifestation of all your materialistic desires is the main goal of yoga. If you are going to worry about how to eat your food, you cannot have any types of spiritual aspirations. The first step of yoga is to be worthy enough for that abundance. So yogipreneur is a perfect platform, because it's not two separate words. The yogi and the entrepreneur need not be two separate ideologies. The yoga pants and the suits need not be two separate worlds. And there's many living examples across the world today. In fact, you see the most successful yogis are the most successful entrepreneurs. Or what you don't even have to call them entrepreneurs. They're wealthy, they're abundant, they have everything they need, materialistic and non-materialistic. So the essence of yoga is to figure out how to live in abundance. And I'm here so I can learn from you and share.
Hello everyone, my name is Tali.
Hi, Tali.
So yesterday, me or Sam knew about this event, and like everyone else, so stressed from my time is not mine. It's either for the organization or my family. And for a long time, I've been thinking I'd like to try yoga. I need some point me time, and I'd like to connect with myself, because really I forgot what I feel, and I'm always worried about everybody's feelings. So I hope this is the start.
Here, the word that's coming is community and support. And for me, my life path is to live in alignment with my soul. And it's always a work in progress. And I work a lot with leaders across the world to help them have a positive impact in the world and really evolve our material world. And my path also has been about being fascinated about evolving consciousness and starting with trying to evolve mind. And I just thought tonight that would come together. And sometimes it's a lonely path. And so to have people who are interested in both paths in the same way, I thought was really cool.
here to Dubai to meet lots of people with that accommodation is amazing.
Hi guys, my name is Dere.
Hi, Dere.
So I'm actually a freelance graphic designer, and something I've been doing since the last 3 years and working since the last 7 years in an industry, in the advertising industry. For reason for coming here is that I've always had an ambition to start a company of my own in advertising in relation to what I do, and like some of like what Louis said, that it's kind of like a lonely path being a freelancer, being by myself. So it's always good to come together where other people who are entrepreneurs and who are kind of on a similar path as I am, to understand where they come from and what they do, and understand their struggles, and obviously grow from them, and hopefully create a path for myself from their learnings. And thankful to be here.
Hello, my name is Mia.
Hi.
And the reason why I'm here today, I put this together, is because I often would see when I'm in my yoga practice, go to yoga retreats, people are very zen and at peace and they're calm, but they don't necessarily have financial abundance. And then I was thinking, well, how is it that they don't have financial abundance? And if they want to go to a yoga retreat, they have to borrow money, and it didn't really make sense to me. And then obviously working in the entrepreneurial landscape, I see people who do have maybe the financial means, but they're incredibly stressed, they don't have time for themselves, and they're always in this panic mode. And I kind of thought, well, this can all be right. There must be kind of a merge that we can do, so that we actually take the kind of the energy, the passion of yoga, and we incorporate it into our entrepreneurship journey, so we can have the best of both worlds. And that's been the path I've been on in the last 2 years. As anyone would know, I literally travel the world, and so every month I'm somewhere else. And yes, I manage to interact and just kind of, but it's because I think how I've been able to do it maybe is because I use my yoga practice in my work, and I just wanted to create a space where other people can do the same.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Ma'am, are you joining us, or are you?
I'm working.
Okay. I was thinking, where are they going to make space? Beautiful, heartfelt reasons. Thank you all. Mia instructed that we would start with the meditation, but I get a feeling that we need to spend a few moments to silence the intellectual mind. The only way you can find what Sumesh refers to as the pure self. In the yogic lexicon, we call it chitta.
Sorry?
Chitta. Chitta vritti nirodha for all the yoga teachers. Yogascha chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the science of the ability to stop the waveringness of the higher intelligence, chitta. So, because the buddhi, the intellect, or the intellectual mind, or our thinking mind is so active, it's difficult to even access chitta. So I would recommend we first start with a few question answers discussions, and then move into a slight guided meditation, and see how it flows. So I'm changing the
I trust you.
dynamic a little bit. I'd like to actually start with a simple discussion on why we're sitting in a circle. Circles are powerful for many reasons, and I'd like you to know and understand and come forth with those reasons. So the only protocol we maintain is that you raise your hand before you talk, so one of us will say please say something, so that we don't interrupt each other. And the second protocol is if you just keep it relevant to what we're talking. And third is, if somebody else wants to talk and you see them raising their hand, practice brevity. So why do we think we're sitting in a circle? Any ideas? Yes?
So that nobody's in the front and nobody's in the back, and we're all equal, and we're all here for one another.
Beautiful. Circles are a representation of equality. There's no guru here. There's only first among equals, the organizers, and we're all beginners. Some of us began before the others. We're all forever students, learning from each other. So yes, beautiful, beautiful reason. So there's no squares, there's no corners you need to cut. And so everybody's in a way, participating in an equal amount of energy, words, action, thoughts.
The flow of energy going around and around.
Beautiful. Yes. Can you explain a bit more? You felt it, so you said it. So.
That's what I feel. It's everybody benefits.
Yes. So in all tantric practices, because in tantra compared to yoga, I'll share the difference in a bit. We practice embodied liberation compared to what Sumesh was saying. In yoga, we practice disembodied liberation, which is going beyond the 5 senses. But in tantra, we use the body, tantra means body, to find liberation. So in the tantric practices, we always sit in a circle so that the energy can stay within and not leak out. Whereas in yogic practices, the teacher is sitting there and you're usually facing the teacher. Maybe in an auditorium format or in a straight
Classroom.
format. Yes. Neither is good or bad. The traditional Hindu yogis don't like the tantrics.
No. Better.
Circle. Any more reasons? Yes.
Sense of community.
Community.
Sharing.
You can elaborate on that.
Most communities, when you see them eat or practice, especially in the yogic traditions, you find them sitting in circular thing. Again, it stems from nobody's ahead, nobody's behind, but there's a sense of sharing and this flow of energy that happens. So when you see most of the yogic practices, they're in circles. Whether they eat, when they pray, when they chant, especially in Tantric Buddhism. We've just been filming in Bhutan and I see most of the Tantric religions do this.
Yes.
We begin with 0 and end in 0.
Wow. This is nice. We have Ramanujam in the house.
Yeah.
Beautiful one. I love it. Can I elaborate?
It's just a visual clue. And that's what the sense I thought about.
Or maybe we begin with infinity and end with infinity.
Quite possible.
Because it's infinite, the loop. So nothingness and everythingness meets. Wow, we've got really deep, really quick.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't catch on, don't worry. Sometimes when I'm lost.
So when we become 0, we become hero. When we move away from all our identifications, when we become titleless, formless, shapeless and shameless, we become the pure consciousness.
Advaita.
There's nothing to become there. You recognize who you are. There's no becoming, like you said something. Yes?
Everyone's in my clear eyesight.
Beautiful.
And
except you, because you're sitting a bit behind. So maybe you can't see you.
Yes, but I can feel everyone's vibration around me. Whereas if you're in the shape of any other form, you're either far or you're near. But here everybody feels like they're all within my same circle of eyesight.
Beautiful, beautiful observation. You can see everybody. If you cannot see somebody, then come forward. Because then you know that they can't see you either. Any other thoughts? Yes, yes. Yes, no, you go.
I think human beings have sat for centuries at least in circles to collect wisdom, to kind of bring the voices together to actually get to a place and point of wisdom.
Beautiful. Anthropologically, though, the reason is, as tribes, they sit in circles so that they always had an eye behind their back. So that an animal or another tribe could not attack them. They were covered 360 degrees and they were safe from all directions. Anthropologically, that's the reason humans started sitting in circles. So that not just what you said of sharing wisdom, but it's like attacked in any side, one of the tribe members can know immediately. Yes?
The best stories are told around a bonfire.
Ma'am, are you here to join us?
Yeah, just came from work.
No problem. You can sit between the gentlemen.
Thank you.
You can come forward. Maybe bring a cushion from the sofa.
Thank you.
And share the mat with Suresh. Suresh, right? Yeah. And Bharat. Yeah. Sit in between Suresh and Bharat. There's one there. Green cushion there.
Yeah, the best stories get told around the bonfire. I think the world needs storytellers today.
Yes.
I was just going to say, in nature, the flow of life is very circular, so we have all the spiral patterns in nature, the DNA, everything is fluid and circular. Energy moves in those ways, not straight up and down, so it's lovely to have this natural circle of life.
Remember, ellipse is also a circle. So, planetary movement, rotation, revolution, around the sun, the moon, circulation system, respiration system, digestive system, it's all circular. Beautiful.
I'd say why I love the circle, and I've done 3 of these workshops last year and they were different formats, and I think the circle worked the best was because I see a quote that reminds me of why circles work really well. Is when I was in Kerala and I went to the Amapuri ashram, and there was a quote that I read by her, which is God realization is when you see yourself in the other. And so God realization is when you see yourself in the other. And I really thought about that so important because sometimes we have this idea that someone has to be on a pedestal and we listen to them, but that's not the same. It's like when you see yourself in the other, that's when you realize yourself. And that's why I think circles are very powerful version tool.
Yes.
What goes around comes around. The world needs a circular economy. What you take, you give back.
Yes. The more you give, the more you listen. One thing I really like in a circle is at any point you can always connect with 2 humans. You can always arm's distance from help, so there's no more question of loneliness. There's no more question of I'm in this alone. Because you realize that the same problems you have, another 20 people have. So therefore you're not alone. The same issues that you have, I can't sit straight for a long time, I can't fold my feet, another 20 people. Everybody has the same things. So you realize you're not so different, nothing special. You're all going through the same process. Any other reasons? Amazing. We were just sharing why it's nice to sit in a circle.
I think you have more community, the feel of community, being able to see. We just moved from the United States, so it's okay in our culture, our way of working, to look eye to eye. I know some cultures are like they look down, but I think you build more trust and openness when you have a circle.
So anybody wants to quickly recap the points we said so she can get?
I think she said many of them.
Yeah, she did. She like gave 4 points.
In what?
Anybody just like quick recap?
Yeah, you're good at this.
Recap.
Yeah, recap.
No, recap. Okay. Put me on the spot. So we sit in circles because it's when we kind of all connect with ourselves and we see that we're not alone.
There's no leader or
There's no
follower.
leader, yeah. There's a sense of community and eye-to-eye connection. Tribal kind of like systems, anthropology, we can see when we're being attacked, I think.
So we're all safe.
We're all safe.
Safety.
And it creates a sense of community and togetherness.
And the energy stays within.
Yes. And we're infinite at the same time.
Is 0.
And 0.
I wanted to address one more point before we start the meditation. Most people feel that yoga and meditation and other practices like dancing and music is for relaxation. I would like to flip it around. Relaxation is what happens before meditation. If you go in a relaxed state to a yoga class or a meditation class or to a Zumba class or anywhere else, you get more benefit. Rather than you going to that class to find peace. If you can go in a peaceful way, then you get closer to discovering what Sumesh said, true self, or the unbecoming of anything else, just discovery of your cosmic nature. To add on to what Mia said about seeing the other, Ramana Maharshi was a famous sage in India. He was asked, Guruji, how should I treat the other? And he gave a beautiful answer. You know it?
As you want to be treated yourself.
Yes, but he said it in an interesting way.
He said,
there are no others.
That's what he said. You can say it loudly so they all know.
There are no others.
He said there is no other. So his amount of, the solution of identity was so profound that he didn't see a difference. And this is why today we're finding so many difficulties in this world, because we see somebody else as not us. I'm Indian, he's Pakistani. I'm white, he's black. I'm tall, he's short. You know, I'm Christian, he's Muslim. I'm wealthy, he's poor. So if you don't see as another, I'm not sure there'll be any conflict. I mean, I'm sure there won't be any conflict. And not just with humans, but also other sentient beings. If you see the tree as giving you your oxygen, will you cut it? Half of your lung is outside. So this kind of awareness is what yoga brings, beyond the postures and beyond the asana. And one of my teachers once told me, will your right hand cut your left hand's finger? No, because it's one unit. So it's two separate hands, but still the identity that it is one body is so strong. So can you then extend this to every other form of matter that you encounter? So I wanted to start with this idea of give up that expectation of relaxation and ease and calmness. You already are. The music, the candles, Mia's voice, the food, the energy here, the vortex created. Don't tell me you're not already relaxed. You've already forgotten your work day and your stress and your boss and your bills. You're already relaxed. So in meditation, let it take you deeper to disengage from the experiences you're having and identify yourself as simply as the experiencer who's having these experiences. The observer observing the experiences. The witnesser witnessing everything that's happening to you. That is the meditative state. So I'd like to start with any questions actually. If anybody has any questions on anything. Somebody was speaking about balance. Can you stand up now? I just want to make a example and a kind of analogy. Please come forward. I'd like you to keep your feet together, keep your arms by your side, close your eyes and just stand. Okay? Now, you don't open your eyes. Anybody who sees that she's swaying a little to the right or left, raise your hand. Anybody who sees she's swaying a little to the back or front, raise your hand. Anybody who feels she's not moving at all, raise your hand. Anybody who feels she's not moving, raise your hand. Anybody who feels she is moving, raise your hand. Okay, ma'am, please open your eyes and look around the hands around you. The idea of balance is only conceptual. It doesn't exist. Please sit down. There's nothing called balance. There's only constant state of counterbalancing. When you fall forward, you push back. When you fall to the right, you push to the left. When you fall to the left, push to the right. So there's ebb and flow of life which you're trying to get rid of. You can't. That's the cycle you're part of. That is what this body is designed to be. Constantly be off balance. So searching for balance is a futile process of the yogic system. Instead, what you can search for is an ability to be in equilibrium. And what is equilibrium? It's not a straight line. If you go at the microscopic level, it's really small and short troughs and waves, which appears an illusion to a straight line. The illusion is calmness and serenity and balance, but it doesn't exist. Find the most peaceful yogi and ask him, do you get angry? He will say yes. But his ability to snap out of that anger is 0.000001 microsecond. That's training. So I just wanted to point that out for balance, and I think 2 or 3 people mentioned that flow. Anybody wants to add on to that or ask anything regarding that?
seek balance only in your bank account, nowhere else.
Actually, you know, financial gurus don't advise that either. They say don't leave it in your bank account, go and invest it. So you don't even want a balance in your bank account. You want the residual income to keep coming and keep investing that, right?
Power of compound interest.
There you go.
I think this is what after the meditation we're going to go deeper into the questions, so there will be more opportunity.
Okay. Okay. So we listen to Mia and we do the meditation. If you don't have a candle, can you just grab one from the center? Anybody who doesn't have a candle. Shut down the eyes, we close the ears, we don't pay attention to sensory input, and we find stillness through sensory deprivation. There is one form though, where your eyes are open. And the Zen Buddhists took this, they created an entire process of this. It's called Zazen or Shikantaza, where it's seated meditation with your eyes open and your senses completely alert. But in the yogic lexicon, we have something called Trataka, which is a candle gazing meditation. And because we have candles today, I said, why not? If you can keep it 45 degrees in front of you, as in the angle from your eyes to it at 45 degrees, and about 1 foot away from you, that's too far actually for Trataka. Just 1 foot, 1.5 foot away from you. For those having difficulty sitting down, you can keep cushions under your hip so that your hip is above your knees, and then you can sit like this for hours without any movement, because otherwise you're going to use your hip muscles and your glutes and your hamstrings to be seated. You can fold the pillow in two if you want a bit of elevation. If you can't sit like this, you can even sit like this. This is fine, doesn't matter. Just try to find any position which you can find still. During the meditation, see if you can avoid leaning against the wall.
There's more pillows.
There's more pillows if you want to grab it. If you're comfortable sitting in Vajrasana, which is like this, you can even sit in Vajrasana. Whatever posture, as long as your spine is erect, that's the important thing. And allow your knees to just fall down. Everybody needs to find a comfortable place. We don't have enough time today to do posture, so it's just a little tip for you to find a way to be still for the next 15 minutes. That's all. You know your body, you figure out what is good for you, be still for 15 minutes. After that, after the meditation, we can have movement. So you look very uncomfortable, so please put some cushions under you. And please avoid leaning against a wall or a cupboard for the period of this meditation. Ma'am, Sonia, come forward. Okay, no problem. You know your word. Great. Let's bring ourselves to this space completely. You can keep your hands facing upwards on your thighs. Allow a deep sense of relaxation to flow through you. You can gently close your eyes now. Suspend any thoughts of the past. These are predominantly memories. Suspend any thoughts of the future. These are predominantly imagination. Every thought that comes into your head, observe it and put it in the category of memory and imagination. See what is left. Categorize it and let it go. Recognize that you are not bringing up these thoughts, so you don't have to do anything to let them go. It's the job of the mind to think, and it's your job not to engage with that thought. Bring yourself completely to the here and now, completely to this space. Allowing a deep sense of relaxation to flow through you. Consciously relaxing all your body parts. Relaxing the lower body, middle body, upper body. Keeping your spine erect, your palms on your knees facing upwards. Your tongue inside your mouth relaxed. Your eyeballs behind your closed eyelids relaxed. Your forehead relaxed. Your neck facing upwards, not down. Spine erect, including your cranium as it goes in, as it comes out. Resist the temptation. Move any part of your body, even if it's some chest and abdomen, and exhale with a nice ah. Let go with sound. Let it all reach out. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, lungs back to chest, abdomen, and hold it. Exhale with a nice big ah. Deep inhale. Fill up your lungs, diaphragm, chest, and hold. As you exhale soon, make sure your tensions, worries, and troubles are leaving your body with a nice, big, loud ah. Let go. Remember, this is a space of no judgment, safe space. You can exhale as loud as you want. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Hold. And exhale with a nice mouth slightly, it becomes ooh. And then close your mouth completely, it becomes And then let the sound stop, it becomes silence. Together we're going to chant it 3 times. If you'd like, you can place your hands at the center of your chest in the Namaste position, Anjali Mudra. If not, you can continue keeping it on your thighs. Let's together take a deep breath in. Slowly and gently opening your eyes to a very, very small percentage, like 5% of your eyelids, and look directly at the candle light in front of you. Your eyelids are still 90% closed, only 5 to 10% open. Your gaze is relaxed. Your neck is not pointing down. Your eyeballs are looking down at the flame. Keep your eyes only 10% open. Any thoughts that come, let them come and go. Bring your focus back to the flame. If you get any feelings, vibrations, sensations during this, let it come and go. If you see any images, shapes, geometrical designs, let them come and go. If you feel your body moving in any way, let it happen, don't judge it. Simply keep your eyes focused on the candlelight in front of you, forming patterns between your eyelashes, with your eyes 90% closed. Just a gentle, small gap through which the light can pass. Adjust the candle so that it's directly in front of you. So your eyeballs can be almost looking through your nose to the candlelight. Creating patterns of light. Any thought that comes, don't pay attention to the thought. Bring your attention back to the flame. Observe how it's flickering. Observe the light. Observe the patterns it creates. Let it slowly dissolve into your being, merging with the light. Resisting the temptation to close your eyes or to open your eyes. Resisting the temptation to fall asleep. Being alert with your senses, listening to my voice, your breath, and observing the candle with your eyes 90% open. Without any movement in your face, hands, or any other body. Simply gazing, with no expectation, no desire, just gazing. No objective, just simply gazing. There's nothing to do, just gaze at the flame. Nothing to imagine, nothing to visualize, no sankalpa. Just gaze at the flame and merge slowly with the light. Resist the temptation to close your eyes. Keep it 10% open. And let the flame merge with you, becoming one with the flame and everything that exists. If not, just look at the flame. Allow it to seep through you. Any sensations you feel, let it happen. Arms over your closed eyelids, gently fluttering your eyelashes, open onto your palms on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then rubbing away any remaining ions or negative etheric particles from your head, shoulders, chest, back, thighs. And then, before you do anything else, looking at somebody in front of you and smiling, recognizing their divinity and their beauty. And then looking at somebody else and smiling at them, recognizing their divinity and their beauty. And then looking at the person on your right and on your left, and smiling at them, recognizing their beauty and beauty. And then thanking everybody around you for holding space for you today, so that you could discover whatever you discover, you could experience whatever you experience. Namaste.
To be already in balance, to be able to practice this, and this practice helps you connect with yourself even more. And if you are not connected, stepping outside, maybe doing something else would help much more than meditation. So I just wanted to share that and
I feel the myth is that meditation is something you do. So unfortunately the word dhyana has been translated as meditation. Meditation is a verb. It is something you do. But the yogic idea of meditativeness is not a verb. It's not an action. It's a state of existence. Thereby, if you're going to do meditation, it probably will cause you stress. Because it is stressful to try to get the mind to stop thinking. You can't. So what is meditation then? If it's not a verb, if it's not something you do.
No, I just enjoyed it.
No, not today. In general, the same. Because the idea that meditation is something you do, you don't sit down and you meditate. It's something you do. It becomes a verb. It becomes an action. It becomes something you're doing. Whereas it's the exact opposite of that, actually. So I'm inviting anybody to articulate it. Yes, yes.
Is it about unlearning and letting go and just being rather than doing?
Why not? Is it? Yes.
You relax your muscles, starting from your feet right to your head. And what that does is it just makes you feel light. whenever I do meditation, once I finish, it's empty and my mind is very light. I feel happy.
My question is,
It's my internal feeling.
correct. My question is this idea of doing meditation. You know, where you have to do something. Is that really meditation? Because then you're doing something. It's something you do. You're doing relaxation. You're doing techniques of relaxation. But is that meditation there? Sorry, she raised the hand before, so you go first.
When I meditate or when I pray, when I get into stillness, I go into a connection. I feel like this energy in my
So is it something you do?
My body naturally does it. And earlier when you say don't look down, but my body feels this energy that gets pulled up. And then I feel the warmth, the love, the light, the peace, the happiness. When I get to that state, and I did get to it tonight with your guidance, but like you said, you could be anywhere. You could be laying in your bed, you could be washing dishes.
So what the take home I'd like you to have from this is meditation is something that happens to you.
Yeah,
You do many things, and you can even do things that are not so-called meditative. Not considered meditative at all. Maybe gardening. Zen monks
like a connection.
meditate when they garden. Gardening is the highest level of meditation.
For me, meditation is just being in that moment, being in that present moment, that now. For me, running is a great way that I'm just there.
Yes.
And I'm just completely there. Because it's very sort of relaxing for me, like, you know, if I was painting as well, I'm just there in the painting, that is it. There's nothing else there, it's just...
So this, in the yogic lexicon, we call it mindfulness. Being in the moment. Whereas mindfulness is something that leads to meditative state. Mindfulness is not, of course there's many now mindful meditation. Meditation is pretty much the exact opposite of mindfulness. It's mind emptiness.
Yeah. But I feel that my mind is empty and I'm just...
No, mindful state is needed to reach a mind empty state. Because if you don't focus on one thing, how can you focus on nothing? When you're running off.
On the plane and that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Mindfulness is a step towards meditative, but is mindfulness therefore meditation? We're going closer and closer. Do you want to say something?
Well, I think it was just trying to do the questioning, the flow. Sorry, Anjan, I'm all about flow. It's that thing of like maybe, you know, I think it's the intention. So sometimes you have a bad meditation practice where you think, oh, it's really bad. But I think it's the intention that you go with it. It's important. So not necessarily because you could be not enjoying it, or it could be like, oh, I haven't been able to concentrate, I haven't been able to calm my mind. But if you have the right intention as you go into it, I think that's the key. That's the need. And then I think I just wanted to raise this thing about, you know, we have yoga and we have meditation. You know, but ultimately for me they are one. So it'd be nice to get some questions on like your thoughts on that. You know, do we see the difference between yoga and meditation? Are they one? And what does yoga mean to us?
So the reason I brought this up is to help understand that. Okay, let's take a simple human experience. Have you all seen a sunset? When you saw the sunset, when you really sat and enjoyed the sunset, maybe with your mojito, maybe not. Did any of your worries of your past exist? Did any of your anxiety of your future exist? At that moment, what happened to you? You kind of merged with that sunset. You kind of didn't exist. It was just the sunset. That state is called meditation. The tools and techniques that yoga, tantra, and many other forms, shamanic forms, many other forms present are tools to constantly reach that state or be in that state as much as possible. To how to hack that state. And the best way to remember is how did you feel when you were watching that sunset? Were you there? Were you even there? Did you as an identity, do you even remember your name at that moment? I don't think so, because you merged completely with that sunset. Like our attempt to merge completely with this flame.
Is
Is it a pseudonym for authentic presence?
Authentic presence, right? What does that mean?
So you're in the moment, you're completely immersed, you completely disconnect to reconnect.
In a way, you're connected to everything, so there's no disconnect there. In a way, there's no other presence other than authentic. So it's difficult to articulate, so that's why these words come up. But that state we've all felt. All techniques of Tantra and Yoga are designed to help you find this state. Usually when we use the word Yoga, which is what Mia wants me to talk about, people understand it as asana, which is postures. But asana means, stretching. So the way I look at it, there's stretching, creating muscle flexibility, then there is endurance, then there is strength training, then there is sports yoga, then there is yoga, then there is yogi. So the intention of any asana is to strengthen your muscle. There's no other intention. In fact, all the asana practices that present day yoga classes have are only 200 years old, borrowed from Russian gymnastics. Sorry to break your bubble. It's not Indian or ancient. Even in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, which is considered as a textbook for many yogis, there's only 4 asanas prescribed. Before that, if you go to the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, there's only 8 asanas prescribed, and most of them are seated asanas. Asana means throne or a comfortable seat, which you get when you have sampatti, means abundance of wealth. This practice was designed for the kings and not for the poor people. So the first step towards reaching that kinghood, asana, finding your throne, is yama and niyama. Rules of living your life and rules of interacting with other people. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra has 8 limbs. First 2 are yama and niyama. Only then they talk about pranayama, only then asana. So the misunderstanding that it's all postures is very modern. It's very important to have those postures because those postures create a certain body through which you can transcend the body. But all body-based practices are therefore tantric. They're not necessarily yogic. The yogic idea is not considering the body at all. So the yogis are mostly frail and underfed and they don't care, they live in the mountains. If you're living in a city, you're pretty much a tantric because you have sexual relations, you have monetary relations, you have materialistic possessions. So what world sees as yoga is actually tantra. And so there's nothing right or wrong. It's just the path of renunciation versus the path of fulfillment. Desire, liberation. Desire, renunciation is the path of a monk. Desire, fulfillment is the path of a tantric. You have desires, you can renounce it and find liberation. Or you have desire, you can fulfill it and find liberation. So in this context of yogipreneurs, we are thinking and we are finding out different ways how we can use ancient ideas from yoga to fulfill our desires and therefore find liberation.
Thank you so much. I just kind of wanted to gauge from the group, what do you feel consists of a strong yoga practice for you?
And yoga, again, when she says it's not just the asana.
No.
You might not have gone to a single asana class, but you still might be a yogi.
Yeah. And then why do you think that's important, having that practice, that routine?
I have a regular practice of breathing, probably because of my health, starting because of health reasons. But increasingly it gives me the calmness that I experienced today.
You have to explain when you say regular practice of breathing because we all breathe.
Every morning I do about 6 sets of breathing formats that I learned in yoga.
So yogic. That's what I want to use.
But I also come from the tradition of Advaita. Advaita and Advaita means oneness and duality. There's nothing wrong or right in whichever you believe. I believe that there's oneness of everything around us as something that is spiritually created. It's again not religion, but spirituality. helps me physically as well as eases my mind. And I start every day by using a duster on what happened yesterday, taking it in past, and going to the future. That's what it helps me.
Remember, when somebody's sharing, this is stuff you can also apply. And if you want to learn how to do pranayama, we have enough teachers here who teach pranayama. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yoga teachers here.
And also strength. For me, basically, it started with health.
So, in a way, can yoga or our meditation practice help us build a stronger sense of devotion, and then we let go of the desire, and then it comes to us? And that's the question. It's a long question. And I feel like Sumesh maybe has some thoughts on that. No.
See, what I feel is when we meditate, we are connecting with our witness consciousness and aligning with the cosmic consciousness. It's like a river which is falling down from the mountain. The river trembles before the river reaches the ocean. What's going to happen to me? At the moment the river connects with the ocean, the river becomes the ocean. So when our witness consciousness connects with the super consciousness, we become the super consciousness. So here the creator and creation is not different. We become so powerful and we are able to manifest. We co-create. So whatever that is happening to us right now is exactly what we wanted to happen.
There's 4 types of yogis in the lexicon, broadly classified: Bhakti yogi, Karma yogi, Jnana yogi, or Raja yogi, or Laya yogi. So Bhakti yogis, Bhakti means devotion or faith. Bhakti yogis primarily, everybody has a combination of all these 4. Bhakti yogi primarily, faith moves mountains for them. So their devotion really creates miracles for them. They believe in something and they really put strength behind that belief, and that creates their reality. The Karma yogis prefer service or action. So their action and their service to others, to humanity, create a sense of connecting their individual consciousness with universal consciousness. The Jnana yogi is like knowledge. So they read the Vedas, they read the Upanishads, they learn the text, they learn the asana names, they learn the postures, they learn the mudras. And through the amount of knowledge that they receive, they realize that no knowledge is enough. And that ignorance is truly far superior than knowledge, because everything we know collectively is far lesser than everything we don't know collectively. So ignorance is limitless. They realize that, and that brings them to a level of, again, Advaita level of merging themselves with the Supreme, and thereby they end up knowing everything, and whatever they need to know comes to them when they need to know, on a need to know basis. If they don't need to know, you go ask these yogis, they don't remember anything. I don't know. But when they need it, somehow they're spewing out mantras and chants and talking in languages that you never thought they could speak. The 4th type are Laya yogis or Raja yogis, who believe in experiential knowledge, so to say, in experiences. So the best example I have is of the flame. The Bhakti yogi believes his teacher or his mother that the flame is hot, don't put your finger. Beautiful, beautiful path. Your faith and your belief saves you. The Karma yogi likes to tell people that the flame is hot, so don't burn your finger. And that strength of that sharingness and that community and that belief keeps them away from putting their hand in the flame. The Jnana yogi researches about the flame, about the epidermis, about how when you put the epidermis into the certain degrees Fahrenheit causes first degree burns, and he understands that, and therefore he doesn't put his finger into the flame. The Laya yogi puts his finger in the flame, burns it, and says, you should not do it. So this is pretty much the 4 types of classification of how you can progress in your path. So though Bhakti is beautiful, it's not the only path. Amma is all about Bhakti. The ashram you went to, she's 100% Bhakti. And so many, Tulsidas, so many of them are all. Bhakti is the easy path. Bhakti Marga is the easy path. You don't need knowledge, you don't need service, you don't need experience. You just surrender and allow the flow to take you. So I would urge you to find your path. Bhakti need not be your path. Going with the flow is not for everybody. And go with the flow is only half the sentence. Remember that. Anything you hear, you have to first observe and then absorb. We all like saying, oh, I go with the flow, but you have to hear the full sentence. Does anybody know the full sentence? Go with the flow when you want to go downstream. Otherwise you're a dead fish. What if you want to go upstream? You have to swim against the flow. So don't go with the flow always. Maybe you want to go upstream. Who knows? Maybe there's some problem in your business or something you're starting and it's not the norm. Maybe it's a habit you want to create and it's not something you're comfortable with. Don't go with the flow. Fight the flow because that flow is not where it's taking you to abundance. You don't want to go downstream because that's not going to the ocean, that's going to some dam and then maybe the ocean. But maybe upstream is closer to where you want to go. Maybe you want to catch the other river. I don't know, it's your journey.
I think we'll come back to that, but what Shiva said about like what you have right now, you want it. And I sort of wanted to ask Tarun and Atif, because they're entrepreneurs and they've come into life, how does that make you feel, or when you hear that what you wanted, you created? As a young entrepreneur, do you agree with that, or in hindsight, or do you feel, how do you feel? Because we say it a lot that we created what we wanted, but do we really, like, how do you live it and believe in it?
And I have a question too. Along with that, these 4 parts, do you see it in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I could say that. Knowledge, believing in something, because it's the first step of thought. Thought is there, then the action, right? And so there's that thought, and that thought creates action. Action creates movement, and then you follow through. Right? So it's for me, as an entrepreneur, I would say that. It's believing in that thought that okay, can create abundance, it can create so that that's something far away in the future, but I believe in it. It's not yet it's not yet there. I don't have it, but I feel like I'm there. I should believe in that. So as entrepreneurs, I feel like yes, these kind of things because we sometimes jump over a cliff with that belief, with that faith, right? Like because we've given jobs or done something.
Does what have to be said?
Why?
Sorry, the 4 ways.
Yeah. What are we doing now?
We're all a combination of all 4 is my feeling. There's never anybody who's independent of the other. And in fact, in the yogic lexicon it says if you can get all of these 4 different types of personalities in you to work together, that's when you will find God consciousness. Have a little bit of all of these. Of course, naturally you're inclining towards one or the other. Like I naturally incline to experience-based growth. I'm not so much of a bhakti. Naturally, I want to experience it. I want to put my finger in the fire and then decide for myself. Thank you for your knowledge, but I want to experience it. Some people are naturally, okay, I will just listen to my guru and not question this authority. Neither is right or wrong. Some people are naturally indisposed to one. I actually want to hear from this side what you guys think and how in your life, how does this play out? Do you have more of belief? Do you prefer more of action? Or do you like gathering knowledge? Or are you an experiential kind of person? This side is very silent.
Just one line. Worry is never the substitute for action, is my experience. So, as an entrepreneur, you always have these apprehensions, attention, stresses, pressures, etc., etc. But rather than just dwell on it and let it become, baggage and legacy, I think action is the best substitute that actually finds a remedy. That's what's been happening over the last 10, 15 years, ever since I've started my journey in entrepreneurship. So, action, I think,
You having faith in that inner voice, higher sound, third eye, an ability to listen to something greater than yourself. An ability to listen to something greater than your intellect.
Is that called gut instinct?
It can be called gut instinct if it comes from your belly. So anything that's ambition-led, monetary-led, if it comes from one of your lower energy vortexes, commonly called chakras, then it can be called gut instinct. If it comes from your Ajna chakra, then it's called instinct. If it comes out of a feeling of lovingness, like Amma does, it comes from your heart, it's called a loving instinct.
Because the research says in the case of entrepreneurs, more than 90% of successful businesses are born out of gut instinct, not analytics or research.
Well, it's possible. Intuitive people are successful in their business. See, again, this gut instinct and intuitiveness, you must remember that everything we have is from outside. The only thing we don't have that's from outside is who we are, which is where Advaita comes. So even an instinct or a gut instinct or an intuitiveness that you feel is a natural eruption from within you is based on many factors around you. People you have met, things you've heard, the opportunities you see, the need gap you recognize as entrepreneurs, the problem you see and therefore you're creating a solution, suddenly you have an aha moment. Is it really yours? It might be you thinking it's your intuition, but is it really yours? It might be thinking it's gut instinct, but he studied the market so well that he's realized this is where the gap is. And so as an entrepreneur, it's not based on research. What are the other things? It's not based on research. Analytics. It's not based on analytics. It's his feeling that, okay, the market needs this, so I'm going to create this solution. So, but how does he study that? How does he come to that conclusion? By interaction, by conversation, by reading, by videos, by watching from others. So is it really his, or is it just inspired? And that's why that goes in the category of bhakti. Bhakti is also faith and devotion and all that, but it's also inspiration. You're inspired by something higher than you.
That's really interesting. You're inspired by something higher than you. And I'll go back to Thiru.
Yes.
And when you said, he gets inspired by service. And he's like, what inspires him is the idea that he's serving through his entrepreneurial journey. Can we maybe talk a little about service? The idea that when you're creating, if you go towards service, the strength that that gives you. You know, like for example, if you think, oh, I'm creating this, I need this, and I need this, and I need to pay this bill and that, there's a weakness in that. But actually to say, I am here to serve, and I'm using my entrepreneurial skills, my inspiration to create something and serve it, isn't that a strong place to come from? So I'm going to do something like that.
I think the idea of value is very inherent in the yogic systems. So yoga is all about value. It's how can I be valuable? That is yama. How can I add value to people around me? That is niyama. How can I find value from my breath? That is pranayama. How can I be so valuable that I'm sitting on a throne? That is asana. It's all about value. So as an entrepreneur, as a designer, if you're finding innovative ways to be proactive and adding value to your clients, they hire you because you're new in the market. Can I go and create 20 new designs and say, hey, proactively, this is how your brand looks. Here's some designs, of course, with watermark and all that, so they don't steal it without paying you. But then adding that value. There's a nice story of a guy called D-Rock, who's a videographer of Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody knows Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Not you, you can talk about Gary Vee. So D-Rock shot videos for Gary for 1 year for free, adding value. And then now D-Rock's company is the #1 film production house in New York. Gary Vee exploded based on the videos that D-Rock shot for him.
Carrying that forward, there is something called profitable audacity.
Profitable audacity, nice.
Okay, so this professor from Harvard actually talks about it, Govindrajan.
Yeah.
And he cites an example of Arvind Eye Care in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
96% of the surgeries done there, cataracts now are done free of cost. In fact, otherwise the buses and the transport goes deep into the villages and get people treats them for free. And 4% of his patients come from US, UK, because you still get it done for about 1/10 the cost of surgeries back in Europe or US. We call it compassionate capitalism, or we can call it profitable audacity, both are the same thing. So I think service, obviously it's very fairly entrenched into the whole scheme of things here as well. And they're very, very profitable, very, very profitable.
I need to leave because
the word you said now, what is it? The compassionate service.
Profitable audacity and compassionate capitalism.
You want to share something from your corporate experience?
I think so. Talent can also share because it's a head of systemically divine tourism. So I was actually thinking that as a change maker, it's really difficult sometimes to keep going. What keeps you going and inspired and believing? Because even when I was at the workshop last week, it's like sometimes it's grim times. The amount of plastic waste and this and this and this.
Yeah.
So what keeps you going and believing? So maybe for both of you.
From my side, it's passion. I'm very passionate with what I do. Though I'm very stressed, but I'm very lucky that I do the thing that I like. And I think the passionism behind it that keeps me going. It's passion and belief. And of course, a lot of people try to fight all of this, but then I think passion was so powerful. Maybe it could be from the corporate world, a joke, being passionate will not take you anywhere. But then I think you will need that belief in your heart to start pushing and making some change.
What do you need? What do you feel you need more of to keep you going? Keep that kind of inspiration going and that belief in your job.
Less stress.
So here's a tip. If you start changing the sentence, then you start changing your reality, which is what he's also saying. So you just said, I'm very stressed. Start changing that sentence. So a part of manifestation, somebody messages, is say it, think it, feel it, which is you verbalize it, visualize it, and you internalize it. So you start with, I'm not stressed because I like what I do. I'm not stressed because I'm not going to allow somebody else to decide how my feelings are. I'm not stressed because I'm in control of my emotions. And start to slowly change your reality, starting with how you say it. So if you're stressed, a personal example, I had 400 dirhams in my bank account. I could have said I am poor. But instead, because I've done a lot of course, it was for 6 months I was not in this world. That's why I was financially broke. But I changed my sentence. My sentence became, I am now manifesting wealth. And then in 4 months, I had 50,000 dirhams in the bank account. Long story, we'll sit over coffee sometime. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if you can change the way you're saying things, it can change your reality. Krishna's doing a course, one more course on hypnotherapy. So if you want to share something with that.
Yeah, whatever sentence you say to yourself, it will definitely become your reality. So if I say, oh, my job is so stressful, I have to handle so many people. This is how it's going to be in the future, because you're just repeating what you think today, tomorrow. So change the sentences you say to yourself and to the future.
And also Niels is kind of very into the path. Because I know you gave me a meditation to listen to. So he's got all the kind of the great tools. But look, for you Niels, how is this kind of philosophy and whatever helped you in your kind of work?
So my experience has been being corporate for 20-25 years, and I went through various levels of experience, being more on the stress side. And it's only when I discovered that it was by changing the way I was looking at that stress started changing, that I had a different experience. First, reflecting on what everybody has stated is, as you manage your day through your project, through your calendar, I started reserving time just for me, on the morning or on the evening. Now, every day I woke up at 4 a.m. to meditate for an hour and a half. Then I do my sport. Then I prepare my meal. Then I start my corporate day. So when I join the office, I already have half a day compared to my colleagues. Then, getting back to passion. Passion brings you wherever you want. The difference between me, I have passion of servicing at work, both corporate and life coach, and I enjoy it. I never work. Every day is pleasure compared to my colleagues who come and struggle and stressful, wait for Thursday. Thanks God it's Thursday. Oh my God, it's Sunday. That's a huge experience that they face. And relating to the 4 times of yogi, when we were discussing and people were reflecting on it, I was comparing with my corporate activity. So we're managing with my team something like 227 millions project now. And all of those Yogi 4, as a team, we go through them either together or through various phases, because there are times where you just follow the flow because, wow, that's the only way you can control things. Then you move to service, because it's where you start interacting with customers. And then you go to knowledge, because it's where you gather, where you start moving from ideas to actions and execute on it and experience out of it. So whatever we have reflected here, I totally easily align it with both corporate and personal way. And something I want to elaborate and is the way of framing things. I would say 10 years ago I had the chance of having the idea of removing most of negative sentences out of my vocabulary. And that has totally changed my perception of things. One suggestion would be, when you were stating I'm not stressed, you were saying the opposite to your unconscious.
Yes.
As a small game, close your eyes. All of you close your eyes. I'm going to confirm with you that your unconscious is unable to process negative. So while your eyes are closed, so do not think of a blue elephant. As simple as that. Yeah. All of you saw a blue elephant because it's what you just ask yourself. As the unconscious is unable to process negative. So when you were stating, rather than saying,
I'm relaxed.
Yes, I'm relaxed, I'm on the way to get it.
Absolutely.
And to go with the some of the sentence that I heard, people were using, if you do that, you get 1, 2, and 3. Well, if introduce potential of failure. Rather than say if, you say when. When I will do, I will get. And one step further will be most the first type of yogi, rather than saying when. As I'm doing that, I have.
And try it also.
Try. Get rid of try.
Try tells your subconscious that you have an opportunity to fail. So don't try.
When you were a child, you heard that sentence from your parents. So you break the program. And your parents were telling you, it's so nice that you tried. Oh, the most important in life is trying. So your program is to say, I stop. You want to succeed on having time for yourself, avoid saying, I'm going to try. Just do it.
So on the subject of bringing together our yogic practices and our practices of being in the world, there's a very simple thing that I learned at a meditation circle that stayed with me. And it's something we face in Dubai all the time, which is whenever you go park somewhere, there's never a parking spot available. But the second you start saying, as soon as you get in and you believe there's always the perfect parking spot available for me, you will be amazed at how that changes everything about your day. There is always the perfect spot for me.
So here's a magic sentence, and if you can resonate with this at the deep level, when you resonate with this at the deep level, you will see changes happening. The magic sentence is, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me.
So I think that leads to the last question, which is in a way like, how can all these practices really help us believe that we live in a world of infinite possibilities? Because as entrepreneurs, as change makers, as corporates, we are creating a new world, and it's a world of infinite possibilities. So how can we use these to create these new possibilities? Because believe that we live in abundance. And that's my kind of last question. Maybe Louise, you have some. Would you like to share your thoughts on that, or
I think for me, I don't know if I was used to the same language, but it's about living in alignment. Actually, I studied with shamans for quite a long time, and one of the things that their way of looking at it was that we're all born with a sacred plan, and when we align to that sacred plan, we'll make our appointments because actually we've got sacred contracts with others to, and so there's this actually quite magical part, and we've all experienced it, you know, those coincidences, but it's that moment where you think, oh, that's kind of abnormal. And in my experience, when you really know what it feels like to be beyond that conditioning, and to be, that's always an ongoing process, but, and you're living in alignment with that, then actually you create this external flow, but not the flow that, because I think flow you were talking about earlier was more about being reactive. And it's more like, the car parking spaces are like, yes, you don't even have to ask for them. And then you just meet the people exactly at the right time, at the right place. And for me, actually, you know, a lot of my work, so I work a lot in corporate, I work with entrepreneurs, I am in Geneva, so I'm on programs with the UN. And for me, it's an essential skill, actually, because otherwise it is hard. It's like really pushing and going uphill. But then suddenly you will be invited to that meeting with that one change maker in the organization that actually could make the whole thing shift. But for me, it's almost like you have to tap into that to be able to do it. And then I loved what you said earlier, because for me, it's a part of co-creation, but conscious co-creation. And sometimes, yes, I don't know if it's always what we want, but it's what we've been conditioned to. And as we evolve that, we can just use all those principles to literally create the future world, and the world at a new level of consciousness.
Align is the yogic way of hustling.
Yeah. Thank you, that's an amazing reframe.
So when you hear all these entrepreneurs saying, I hustle, I don't hustle, I align. And everything happens by itself. So the illusion, just to add on, the illusion is that we control things, right? That we have this ability through our service, through our knowledge, through our actions, that we have the ability to control. That's a big illusion that we as humans have. Being a small speck of dust in a planet that's rotating and then revolving around the sun, and the entire solar system revolving around some other big massive black hole kind of thing, and then the seasons moving, the clouds changing, the weather changing, viruses coming and going, your own respiration, your own digestion, your own circulation, your own endocrine system, we have no control over anything. So letting go of that illusion that I can control is the first step to align. It says I can't really control, what can I do? I can let go of my individual attachment to my identity and my individual perception of things, remove myself from the equation. So whatever has to happen, I will figure it out, and everything always works out for me. So that's beautiful. Yogic way of hustling is alignment.
I highly recommend it.
Most of us humans live in a world of false desire, conforming to expectations set on us by society, by jobs, by parents, by spouses, by other business owners on how we should live our life. So observe every single desire of yours and really be honest to yourself. Am I doing this for me? Or am I doing this to conform to a certain image that I have to live up to? As an entrepreneur, I'm supposed to be like this. As a business owner, I'm supposed to be like this. As a yogi, I'm supposed to be like this. There's not supposed to be. You do what you desire. That way, you will always have passion. The minute you don't do it for yourself, you will run out of motivation in a few days. Then you need external motivational speakers coming and motivating you, which a lot of people pay a lot of money for. So motivational speakers only exist because people have false desire. If you only did what you wanted to, you will always be motivated, you'll always be passionate, you always will have that drive to just go and do it. So work on yourself to figure out what is your real desire, what is your false desire, and then on the base of that, layer the knowledge and the deep understanding that you are enough. Resonate with this sentence, I am enough. Doesn't mean it's going to stop you from being ambitious or being somebody who wants to grow or going to the next step, but knowing that whatever body shape you are, it's enough. Maybe you want six-pack abs, but is that for you or is that to impress a girl? Whatever money you have is enough. You're really starving and poor? No, you're not. But maybe you want to create something for the ecosystem. Maybe you want to create something for the value chain. Maybe you want to have free eye donation, whatever operation for villagers. I don't know. So then your need and passion really collide, and your desire becomes something that manifests effortlessly.
Thank you so much. And on that, Ajahn, how would you like to do it? Because I think we've got about 5 minutes left. I was thinking of going around and saying the one thing that we will take away or do differently. And then could we do an abundance manifestation or ending abundance? Yeah.
So I'd like everybody to sit on your own left thigh with your palm facing upwards. Left hand on your left thigh, palm facing upwards. Left hand on your own left thigh. Right hand up. And right hand on the palm of the person on your right. Okay. Hold the hand lightly and softly, don't squeeze it. Connect the thumb of your right hand to the back of their left hand. And if they want to hold your hands, they can. Okay? Now we're going to do what Mia said. Relax your elbows. Okay? No need to. Very nice. Also remember that your body posture dictates your state of mind. Have you ever seen anybody who is sad like this? Have you ever seen anybody who is happy sit like this? Yeah? So your body posture and the way you hold yourself dictates the state of your mind. So what is it you said we have to share?
What is the one thing that I will take away from this circle?
So as you share this, I want you to also close your eyes and pass it through everybody around you. So pass it to the person on your right. Okay? So let's all close our eyes. One by one we share things that we want to take away from the circle or manifest for ourselves or just have or just own. Something that we want to resonate with. So as you say it, visualize it passing through you to the person on your right, amplifying and coming back to you. When anybody says one word, all of us repeat that word. Anybody can do. The one thing you want to take home from this session, or the one thing you want to manifest, or the one thing you want to amplify. Anybody can do. Right now. Health.
Happiness.
Happiness. Positive thinking.
Positive thinking.
Ease.
Ease.
Passion.
Passion.
Connection.
Connection.
Community.
Community. Abundance. Abundance.
Love.
Love.
Belief.
Belief.
Stillness.
Stillness.
Conscious breathing.
Conscious breathing.
Awareness.
Awareness.
Intuition.
Intuition.
Being in the present moment.
Being in the present moment.
Don't go with the flow.
Don't go with the flow.
Get the flow.
Get the flow.
Never impress anybody, be yourself.
Never impress anybody, be yourself.
Giving is receiving.
Giving is receiving.
It's okay to fail.
It's okay to fail.
Being true to your conscience.
Being true to your conscience.
Successful.
Successful. Creating a positive impact. Discovering your limitless self. Discovering your limitless self.
Witness consciousness.
Witness consciousness.
Kindness.
Kindness.
Collaborative advantage.
Collaborative advantage.
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention.
Divine timing.
Divine timing. Recognize that you are a being of love, and your true and highest purpose is to spread love. Having gratitude for every moment, feeling thankful for all the people, all the connections, all the places, all the knowledge, all the experiences you're having, and letting that gratitude to transcend to love, to spread this in the form of light, words, kindness, generosity, actions, service, and sharing this love with every being you meet, sentient and non-sentient. Recognizing yourself as a pure, unadulterated form of love. Recognizing that you are not this physical being having occasional spiritual experiences, but you're a spiritual being having this temporary human experience. Being in alignment and in union with this consciousness, that is yoga. Feeling grateful, feeling tremendous amount of self-love, knowing that you're able to create any reality you want and manifest any desire that you have. Unbounded, infinite, limitlessness. You can slowly open your eyes once again and look at somebody next to you and smile at them again. I think a few of us will still be around if anybody wants to share anything, but I think those who want to leave should be allowed to leave now. I'm going to definitely jump into some of the yummy snacks that this team has. Yes, sorry.
Exchange numbers.
I had an idea actually when he was talking.